amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy.
This fight was rigged.
Jake Paul just dropped a jaw-dropping revelation after the Anthony Joshua fight, one that's somehow making more noise than the stoppage itself. And if you thought the fight was controversial, what he said afterward might be even tougher to defend.
A horrible concept for a fight. I didn't even watch it. I know everyone, including myself, was saying this is a lose-lose for Jake because even if he won, he would still get laughed at for it, which he is, rightfully so.
It's only been a few hours since the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight ended, but the outcome is already hitting many people hard. I can also make a more dramatic, attention-grabbing version if you want it for a video hook. Do you want me to do that too?
From the very beginning, I said there would be no knockouts in this fight. I was very, very firm in that prediction.
Jake Paul was declared the winner. And even understanding his rise and appeal, it didn't feel decisive, not to me, and clearly not to many others watching. The fight ended, the announcement was made, but instead of closure, it left a gap. A gap where you keep replaying moments in your head, asking yourself whether what you just saw really adds up.
Is because it's just boring. It was extremely lackluster, and that was an extremely predictable thing to see from a mile away.
Inside the ring, the immediate reaction spoke volumes when the referee stepped in and waved it off. There was no eruption of shock or celebration, only confusion. Anthony Joshua was down, but he was moving, alert, trying to process exactly what had just happened.
You see this man visibly holding back his punches, where he would throw a punch and then he would just not let it connect. He would just drop his hand down.
Jake Paul raised his hands, but even that moment felt delayed, almost cautious. The crowd didn't erupt. There were scattered shouts, the clink of drinks, and a stunned quiet you rarely hear after a heavyweight fight is decided. It felt less like a conclusion and more like an interruption.
When it was clear as day that Jake's face was wide open to receive it. Bro, this is disappointing.
Before the fight, most expectations followed a simple logic. Analysts highlighted Joshua's jab, his patience, his ability to control distance. The assumption wasn't that Jake Paul had no chance, but that if Joshua stayed composed, the fight would either end in a stoppage or a clear points victory for him. Betting lines reflected that reality. The later the fight went, the more confidence shifted toward Joshua. That was the consensus. Even Jake Paul had acknowledged publicly that this wasn't his most marketable opponent. It was his hardest test, his most dangerous one.
And after everything is said and done, they probably took home a bit more than that. Ain't no telling. I'm hearing north of 80 million for Jake and anywhere between 60 to 75 million for Mike Tyson, from my understanding.
That context is why the ending landed so awkwardly. In the ring, Joshua was doing exactly what people expected early on, measured, using his reach, not rushing exchanges. Jake Paul had moments, but nothing that screamed inevitability. When the knockdown came, it didn't look like the kind of shot that immediately erases a fighter. It looked like a heavy blow, followed by a brief loss of balance. Joshua went down, yes, but he didn't appear disconnected from the moment.
This fight was rigged. I could be wrong. I can't even say that because in my gut, I don't feel like I am.
The referee's response immediately became the focus. To many watching, the count felt fast, and the decision to stop the fight seemed sudden. In heavyweight boxing, fighters, especially champions and former champions with proven durability, are usually given more room to recover. That's not favoritism, it's precedent. This time, that window felt unusually small. When the stoppage came, it felt like a decision made for speed, not for certainty.
Why is he not moving like he was during training? He didn't hit the signature Mike Tyson.
By the time the second round began, the structure of the fight was already revealing itself, and it wasn't in Jake Paul's favor. Around 3:10 into the round, Anthony Joshua settled into a rhythm that boxing trainers immediately recognized. He controlled distance with a disciplined, probing jab, thrown not for immediate damage, but to establish positioning.
For a year now, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but all this shit's fucking rigged. You know, you see people whining and dining each other. You see people at Staples Center. This sport's rigged, for sure.
Joshua's lead hand landed at a steady, methodical pace, snapping Paul's head back just enough to disrupt his balance without overcommitting. According to the live CompuBox feed shown during the DAZN broadcast, Joshua landed 11 jabs in round 2 alone, compared to just 4 total punches from Paul in the same round.
And we saw it play out. What we saw here was a clear indication that Mike was holding back, not doing the things that we know come natural to him when he's in the ring and ready to go.
Jake Paul's response during this stretch was telling. Instead of moving laterally, he repeatedly backed straight toward the ropes, particularly along the north-facing side of the ring near the blue corner. Commentators Todd Grisham and Sergio Mora both noted the shift in real time around the 2:05 mark of the round, pointing out that Paul's footwork looked less confident than it had in his previous bout in August 2024. Mora specifically remarked that Paul's timing was a half beat off, especially when attempting to counter Joshua's jab with an overhand right.
And we saw it play out. What we saw here was a clear indication that Mike was holding back, not doing the things that we know come natural to him when he's in the ring and ready to go.
What raised eyebrows among ringside reporters wasn't just what was happening between the fighters, it was what was happening outside the ropes. Multiple journalists, including Jake Donovan of Boxing Scene and ESPN's Mike Coppinger, later noted the judge's body language during round 2.1. Judge on the west side of the ring appeared to be writing less frequently than expected, while another kept glancing toward the referee during exchanges. None of this was conclusive on its own, but it was unusual enough to spark conversation in post-fight discussions.
Look, alleged, because you gotta say it, right? Alleged, it's alleged.
Round 3 only intensified those observations. From the opening bell, Joshua started putting combinations together with increasing confidence. At 6:42 into the fight, he landed a crisp left jab followed by a straight right that snapped Paul's head back and drew an audible reaction from the crowd. Paul absorbed the shot without going down, but his counters were limited. According to unofficial CompuBox numbers shared by the broadcast team, Joshua landed 18 total punches in the round, while Paul managed just 9, mostly single shots rather than sustained combinations.